What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming from the future, actually. While I was sitting here editing my video, I remembered that I forgot to give a very special happy birthday shout out today to the Royce Morgan. Actually just saw on Instagram that he signed on to a talent agency, entertainment and talent agency. Whoa is the name of it. So good for him. And that actually reminded me that I was supposed to do this shout out for him, and I wanted to make sure that I got it in today. It was his birthday the other day. He's always been super supportive. We keep on saying that we gonna get together, and then you guys know how it is. We be saying it and then we just haven't. But we are still going to get together, Royce. I don't know when. I just wanted to make sure I got this birthday shout out there. I hope you are enjoying your day, your week, your birthday month. All right, what are we in? Libra season. Hoping you enjoy it. And Blue said happy birthday too. Let me get on off of here and get to the video. Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So
you keep it natural, stay in your bag like you wearing satchels. Hey, baby, you a godsend, just listen to sandals. But still,
all right, guys, so we're gonna start this off with politics. Got a few little things to talk about. First up, you guys, let's talk about your boy Kevin McCarthy. Boy, he fought the good fight, didn't he? It was like, that man worked so hard to get into that spot. I mean, he worked hard to get into that spot, you guys. He was campaigning. He was talking to people on phones. He was promising. He was asking. He was granting favors. He was doing a lot. And after they had to keep going back and forth to a vote, he finally got the seat after Nancy Pelosi retired from being the Speaker of the House. He finally got the seat. And how long did that last? Not too long, you guys. And, you know, part of it is the Republicans, you guys, the Republicans have really just been a lot of infighting. They haven't been able to get it together. And this has really been going on for a while now, some years now, that the Republicans can't even see eye to eye, let alone trying to reach across anybody's aisle, aisle to see eye to eye. But in this case, there was a vote that was called, and after 216 yays and 210 noes, or nays, I should say, they said that he got to go. Okay. Matt Gaetz was the person that led the whole thing, and said that, actually, I got a quote that he says that Kevin McCarthy is a creature of the swamp. He has risen to power by collecting special interest money and redistributing that money in exchange for favors. We are breaking the fever now. Okay? As if the rest of the politicians don't do the exact same thing. But you know what? In this case, Matt said that it was a bad thing. So, yeah, after they was able to get 216 people to say yay, Kevin McCarthy is out. He said that he will not fight to get back into it, the seat. He said he did fight to get that seat, but he won't fight to get back in. And he says he thinks that maybe his fight will be better accepted elsewhere. Now, this is the first time in history that this has happened. So I was just like, well, Kevin McCarthy, you gonna be in the history books, brother. For sure. And the reason that the Republicans were pissed at Kevin McCarthy, well, because he reached across the aisle. Actually, something that he was supposed to be doing. He was reaching across the aisle to see how we can come to a resolution for this possible government shutdown that is looming. Okay. They were able to get an agreement, remember, and they extended it, I think, 45 more days before the actual shutdown will happen. And the Republicans were not happy that he, was a part of that. And so, yeah, they was just like, yeah, nigga, you out. And don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay? Shout out to Fred G. Sanford, y'all. And the G stands for goodbye. Oh, shit. I know that this really puts our government in more chaos and turmoil. And it's probably not a good thing for the American people. But, the politics is just such a mess right now that all you can do is sit and watch and laugh, right? This was our time. So, yeah, we got about $35 trillion. Yeah. Uh, okay. Call. All right. Call back. I was on the phone. Call back. I'm sorry, you guys. I swear, Jada calls me. She might have one very, very minuscule, tiny, teeny, tiny bump, and she'd be like, "Mom, what's this?" Jada, something bit you. It's nothing. Calling me over this shit. Put you some. She was like, "Wait, how do I clean it? I need to get it." Any little mark on her body, she's having a fit, you guys. Anyway. So yeah, like I said, $35 trillion that is just sitting somewhere waiting to be told where to be spent. Okay. If Biden had his way, he'd send it all to the Ukraine, I think. And that's probably the main reason why they put a halt to all of this, because really it's just too much spending. So yeah, in the meantime, with all that going on, Kevin McCarthy, yeah, they went on and ousted him. So I thought that was pretty funny. Also, another thing that was pretty funny was that the judge that is presiding over the New York City case against YSAP put a gag order on old YSAP, said the motherfucker talked too much. I was just like, I'm so glad that somebody did this. Now in this case, Judge Arthur Engoron has a clerk, and apparently YSAP was so pissed about, I guess, the way that the court proceedings was going, that he posted on his website, I think truth.org, that the clerk was Chuck Schumer's girlfriend, okay? And you know, he said it in a way where he was kind of being disparaging, but it doesn't even really matter. I don't know if Chuck Schumer is married or not, but this is supposedly not his girlfriend. Okay. And the judge said that it was inaccurate. It was untrue. He ordered that the post be taken down. So they did take the post down, and now YSAP is no longer allowed to criticize or talk about any of the court staff. Even though they did take the post down, it wasn't before millions of people. The email was sent out to millions of people that follow him on his truth.org website. So the damage was done. It was a picture of Chuck and this woman that's supposed to be his girlfriend, and but so far they're saying that that is not true, that them two are not together, and that YSAP was just being his regular YSAP asshole self. Okay. So yeah, that's what's happening there. And then while we're talking about politics, I'll give you a rest in peace to Dianne Feinstein. Okay, or Feinstein. She passed last week after a very long standing career in politics. I mean, she started as a councilwoman and she made it all the way up to the Senate in California. I mean, this name has been around for as long as I can remember. I feel like she was in office, that she was in politics as a councilwoman probably even before I was born, or like right around the same time. I mean, she has always been in California politics. And this woman is the true epitome of work until you died, because she had just given her last vote, what would be her last vote. She didn't know it at the time, but she was at the Senate that day in Washington and gave a vote. And later on that evening, she did pass at her home in Washington. And Dianne Feinstein has done a lot for California. Let's see. Let's just read some of her accomplishments, shall we? Dianne Feinstein was the Senate's oldest Senate member. She was elected to the Senate chamber back in 1992, but before that, she was San Francisco's first female mayor back in 1978. She also made, very positive differences for the LGBTQIA community there in San Francisco back at a time when nobody was looking out for for that community. She led the push for a ban on assault rifles, and Bill Clinton actually signed that into law back in 1994. She was the first woman to head the Senate Intelligence Committee. And so, yeah, she's done quite a bit for California and actually for these here United States. But as she's gotten older, we saw that she was getting more frail, more sickly, and she was starting to get more forgetful, and there were calls for her to retire. But you know, you can hold the seat as long as you keep getting voted in. You can hold that seat. So she didn't want to retire, and like I said, worked till the day she died, because later on that night, after she gave her last vote, she died Thursday night there. So worked really, really, really hard. Now, Gavin Newsom, who is the governor there in California, he has replaced Dianne Feinstein with LaFonza Butler. She's a Democratic strategist and advisor to Kamala Harris's 2020 presidential campaign. There has been a lot of controversy about this person. I believe that everybody thought that he was going to choose Barbara Lee, but he did not. So we've got LaFonza Butler. She is the first person from the LGBTQIA community to be assigned to this position. She's going to carry the baton that was left by Dianne Feinstein, you know, so we'll see how she does. Yeah, a lot of people are not happy about this, but it is what it is. And LaFonza, not to be confused with LaFonz from Napoleon Dynamite. Y'all remember LaFonz from the brother's girlfriend? How much he loved him some LaFonz, y'all. Not to be confused with her, but yeah, she will be taking over and hopefully doing a great job as the replacement there. So yeah, that's all what's happening in politics. Somebody go and check on Kevin McCarthy, see if he's okay. You know YSAP is fine, child. And well, rest in peace to Dianne Feinstein.
Listen much, put your hands on my back, that's a different touch. Put your ass on my plate, I don't skip the lunch, I don't skip the brunch, not the dinner.
All right, you guys, and while we're talking about things that have affected the nation, let's talk about the latest strike that has come down the pike, you guys. They have been warning us and letting us know that Kaiser Permanente, the not-for-profit healthcare chain, some of their workers decided that they will go on strike. This happened on Wednesday, was the beginning of the strike. More than 75,000 unionized Kaiser workers across the United States walked off of the job, okay? It is only a temporary strike. So this strike will be finished at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. But until then, we have nurses, we have receptionists, we have pharmacists, we have the optometrists, the dietary workers. They have all walked off of the job, okay? So basically the ones that's doing all the damn work at Kaiser, because if you ain't got the receptionist, you can't get up in there, okay? And we already know that the nurses is really the ones that's doing every damn thing. So this is happening across the United States: California, Colorado, Washington, Virginia, Oregon, and Washington, D.C. So I was like, could that sound like you, girl? Okay. Not here in Georgia, which is good to know, because that is my healthcare provider and has been for my whole entire life. I mean, I was born, everybody in California back in the 70s, in LA, I should say, back in the 70s was born at Kaiser Kaiser Sunset. Okay. That was like the place to have your baby back in the day. Now, you know, everybody goes everywhere and but yeah, Kaiser has been a staple in my life the whole time. And I know some people have complaints about Kaiser, but I feel like Kaiser, I haven't had any problems with Kaiser. And you know, when you, especially I believe if you don't really have health problems, because I have never really had any health issues until just recently with this whole cycle bullshit. But I also believe that I'm premenopausal, so you know, that's why my cycle has just all of a sudden gone haywire. But for people that don't really have health issues and you just need something to just maintain your health and make sure that you watch your health and all of that, the Kaiser's been perfect for me. Okay, so I've heard people complain, but I haven't had really the need for specialists and all that. So maybe if you needed that, then look, I'm trying to sell Kaiser insurance. Anyway, yeah, they have gone on strike. It's only temporary, but if their demands are not met, then you know what? They probably will go on strike again. And this time it'll be a for real strike, probably longer, and probably more people that work there. But already $75,000 has got to be put in Kaiser in a jam. I mean, I guess the light at the end of the tunnel is that, you know, they know that everybody is coming back to work Saturday. But like I said, this is really just a warning. Like, let's get this done. And apparently they have been able to make, you know, meet in the middle and come up with some things, but there are still other things that they are demanding that the union wants and that, you know, they're still trying to figure out. So they're at the table, and they're going to reach a contract settlement hopefully soon. But you guys know, I'm actually surprised that the hospitals haven't gone on strike before now. I think it's just because they didn't really have the time, you know, with the pandemic, with COVID, those, you know, medical workers, healthcare workers were working like fucking slaves, right? And so long hours, no breaks, you know, just a lot of unfavorable working conditions. So now that things have kind of calmed down some and the pandemic is over, they say, and now we got a little bit of time to kind of figure out some things, especially about what they've been through for the last few years, you know. Now they just like, okay, fuck this, we got to get this done. All right. And especially now that there are other people that are striking. We have the writers' strike going on. We have the union. I'm sorry, not the writers, the actors. The writers settled, but the actors' strike is still going on. The unionized auto workers' strike is going on. You know, UPS almost threatened to go on strike. Kaiser, like I said, have been saying that they were going to do it, and now they have, but this is a temporary one. But yeah, people now is just sort of like, you know, you need to pay us what you know, what we are worth. And it's amazing that all of these businesses, everybody is overworked. They don't have enough staff. I'm just like, are the businesses hiring? You know, you hear about people saying that they can't find work, and then you got businesses that's saying that they can't find workers. And it's just sort of like, well, what's everybody doing? Because why I can't, you know, this person can't find a job, and then this job can't find a person. Why we can't mix it together? But for whatever reason, there's so many places that are complaining that they can't find anybody to fill their positions. It's crazy, right? So, you know, basically the people are saying, give us some more money, okay? Give us some better working conditions, better working hours. Let it be a safer environment, considering that, you know, people are dying from, you know, COVID and other things. Like, they need to be compensated for all of the things that they go through. So I'm not mad, and, you know, hopefully these few days strike will get the people that make the decisions at Kaiser and realize that maybe they need to come on and, you know, get this settled, because if them people walk off for real, it's gonna give Kaiser some problems for sure. So hopefully they can get it together. Hopefully, if you are on strike, hopefully you can get you a couple of extra dollars. I'm not sure what you do there, but I do know that you work there. Am I blasting? Let me not say. I'm gonna have to blank out the name, but you might know who you are if I. Next story.
Neither, and we hella close, not a centimeter. Getting in between us, are you too turned up? Looking like God, that's masterpiece. Make a nigga say unlike masterpiece. You should name yourself after me. Don't nobody really want you bad as me. If you walk away, that'd be sad to see. But if you
this whole Leandra versus Raesondra drama that's playing out over there on TikTok. You guys, I'm just going to really, this is something for you guys to comment on, because I am not familiar with the story, even though I did do my research. And when I say that, that means that I watched Jay Lee. I watched Jay Lee's video, because she was able to piece together all of the different TikTok videos that Leandra had put up explaining this impending divorce from Raesondra, which was her wife. And I didn't know nothing about none of these people. You know, I had never heard of them. I'm not on TikTok like that. I have a TikTok account, but I don't really ever go on TikTok. So it'd be too much going on TikTok. I haven't figured out how to maneuver it. Or anything. So I just been like, whatever. Okay. Besides, there's so much stuff to try to keep up with, you know, nigga trying to just do Instagram and YouTube, and that's already hard enough for me. So, Yeah, no TikTok. But anyway, they had TikTok and a tizzy over there, honey, because apparently this is a couple that everybody has loved and has followed. And the news came down that Raesondra was out there moving wrong, and LaShondra decided that it was time for her to leave Raesondra. Okay, now let me give you a little background on them. If you don't know anything about these two young ladies, I can tell you that LaShondra, when I finally did go and do the little research and I saw her face, I was like, oh, that's the girl. That's the girl. You guys, this is the girl that you see on Instagram that does those videos, the little clip funny videos where she's sitting in a chair in front of like a whiteboard or a chalkboard, and she talks about, like, you know, how you might have her fucked up, basically, or how you got to this conclusion, basically. You know, she does those videos. You remember her? I had no idea that she was a lesbian. Not that that matters, you guys, but it matters in this story because she was married to this woman, Raesondra. Apparently, Raesondra, if that's her name, because depending on who you ask, some people say that that is not her name, but she been out there scheming, you guys. These two were married for 6 years, and apparently LaShondra had allowed Raesondra to be the one that handled like all of the business parts of their relationship, paying the bills in their marriage, and you know, just handling. Now, LaShondra is very popular on TikTok, has over 2 million followers, very popular on Instagram. She is a known personality on social media. So LaShondra has allowed Raesondra to take care of all that type of things while she, you know, catered to her career online. And then they also apparently did videos together. Okay. But like I said, she allowed her wife to be the one that handles the bills, and you know, shit just all together, all at once, just kind of fell apart for Raesondra. So from what I was able to gather, the reason why LaShondra finally came to the conclusion that her wife was a scammer and a fraud artist, and, you know, taking her for granted and taking her money and all of this. Well, apparently she got home one day and her daughter saw something on the door and was like, what was that? And turns out it was an eviction notice. After LaShondra spoke to Raesondra to find out why they had an eviction notice, and she acted like she didn't know why there was a eviction notice on the door. The next day she went to talk with the management, and the management told her that the rent had not been paid. Okay. And that it hadn't been paid for some months. And she gives her rent, half of her, apparently they split the rent. So she gives her half of the money to Raesondra. Raesondra is the one that they expect to pay the bills. Raesondra has not been paying the rent. Okay. Turns out that the rent hadn't been paid in, I think she said, at least 6 months or something like that. Now, you guys know that I just came from working on special assignment with evictions court. And so I'm very familiar with the process. And yeah, but when it gets to the point where when they give you the eviction notice, well, now it's gotten to the point where now really management is not trying to deal with you anymore. You haven't paid some months. You know that you're living in this location without paying. So yeah, I got a problem with you now. So I'm not really trying to be helpful. I'm not trying to give you any breaks and all of this. So when LaShondra went and confronted or talked to the management, they told her what it was. You know, basically you can pay to get everything back caught up. Okay. But you guys still gotta go. All right. They did not want them to be there because of all of the past months. You know, it's like, we can't trust you. We need to know that we're gonna get our rent, you know. So looks like that was what started the whole everything. But as time went on, you started to see that there were other things, other red flags that should have probably stood out to LaShondra about Raesondra. She missed them, obviously, I guess, in the name of love. You know, sometimes when you are all deeply in love with somebody, sometimes you just cannot see the flags, okay? But this wasn't the first time that she's had problems paying the bills. Something about a table from Rent-A-Center. I was just like, who rents tables? People are still going to Rent-A-Center? Like, you know, especially when they have all of these furniture companies that offer like 0 interest for 3 years. You know, you make the payment, but the problem is if your credit is fucked up, then you can't even get the credit to buy that furniture. So you have to go to a place like Rent-A-Center. She didn't know that that furniture was from Rent-A-Center, so they came and picked up the damn furniture. And then she started talking to her friends, and her friends started telling her about different things that had been going on. Apparently, Raesondra had borrowed $1,000 from the best friend to pay for LaShondra's wedding dress, but LaShondra's father is the one who paid for the wedding dress, and she didn't know anything about the best friend giving the money to Raesondra, and it apparently took her over a year to pay. Child, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Pastors coming out the woodwork, because also Raesondra is a pastor. I don't know of what church. I don't know even where these two live, but apparently she's a pastor. She's left different churches because she's rubbed them the wrong way or stole money from them. Some pastor in California reached out to her and let her know that, you know, Raesondra had took money from them, and ex-girlfriends have said that she's ruined their life and took money from, just like all of these things that, you know, granted, LaShondra didn't know about, but there are certain things still in that story that make me feel like LaShondra should have been responsible for LaShondra's life. And once she realized that her wife was not really good with the money, because like I said, this wasn't the first time that this has happened with the rent and everything. Once she found out that her wife was not handling the bills correctly, she was supposed to take over that, you know. You cannot continue to give money to somebody when you have been, you know, when it's been revealed to you that they may not be paying your bills. Your credit is attached to that, you know. So I kind of fault LaShondra, not necessarily, I mean, she was in love, right? So she cares about this person and everything, but she still has to take some sort of accountability for the fact that she was kind of living her life with blinders on. Because when you heard her talking, she was like, I'm going out of town, you know, this is happening at the house, but I go out of town to Fashion Week and I enjoy myself there. Then I come back and it was just sort of like, girl, you got life-changing things happening at the house. How you going out of town and all of this? Like, you needed to take care of the business. Now, I know I'm not trying to be like reprimanding her or anything. Like, I'm saying all these things in love, because of course hindsight is 20/20, and we've all made really bad decisions in, you know, in relationships. If you haven't, then good for you, but most of us have had a time or two when we've made some stupid decisions in our relationship. So I'm not trying to beat her, I'm not punching down at her, but what I'm saying is, when people show you who they are, then you kind of have to believe it. So if she's not good with the money, so that means, you know what, let me do the money part, or else we ain't gonna work. Because if you're not paying the bills, then what? Child, she's the property manager at some apartment building, and apparently LaShondra's brother lives at the apartment building, and instead of him paying the rent into the portal to pay his monthly rent, he's sending the money to Raesondra for her to pay the rent. Now, they wasn't, as of when she made the video, she wasn't even sure if the boy's rent had been being paid all that time. Okay. And yeah, so it's just sort of like, well, when you know better, you do better, right? So you now you know that there are people out there that is definitely not doing the right thing. So you can't trust, even though that's your wife. I know she probably felt like she should be able to trust her in that, but there are just certain things sometimes that people are not good at that you cannot let them handle. Okay. Even when me and Mr. first got married, I used to pay all of the bill. Like, he would give me the money and then I would just pay everything. But it was proven to be too much for me, because at the time I was really broke. Okay, at one time we didn't really have a lot of money in our marriage, and so I was juggling shit. I was trying to figure out how to rob Peter to pay Paul, and I was doing all of this, and it started to get too overwhelming for me. So when we started to really have problems, And he would get really mad at me about me missing bill. I wouldn't purposely be doing it. It was just starting to be too much. Like, I would forget that this was bill, due, and this was due, and all of that. So it wasn't like I was just like, fuck them bills, I'm not paying them. It was just like, it was too many of them. Okay, bitch. And it was like, I got this amount of bills and this amount of money. So I was trying to make shit happen, but it was causing problems because I wasn't telling Mr. and all of this. So, you know, when we finally went to counseling, that came out about the money part and how it was overwhelming for me, and that he was always mad, but he also didn't realize how hard it is to pay bills when you ain't really got a whole bunch of money. So anyway, long story short, we decided to separate everything. So instead of me paying everything, him giving me the money and everything, what worked out better for us is that we split. We decided who was going to pay what every month. And then that was their thing. So I pay the utilities, Mr. pays the mortgage, and then he pays his card note, his credit card bills. I pay my card note, my credit card bills, and we don't mix that shit. Okay. But that worked out better for me because it was just too much. And Mr. had his own business at the time, so I was also trying to help him with his business stuff, and it was just it was just too much. So that helped our relationship because it was too much for me. And really, Mr. needed to see how stressful it was to be trying to be paying all these bills when you didn't really have all this money. Like, it wasn't me just saying, like I said, I didn't want to pay him. I just was trying to tell you that we ain't got the fucking money. So what you want me to do? I'm trying to make this shit. I'm trying to keep all the balls in the air, you know? So once he saw, and once he realized, you know, once he might have forgotten something was due, you know, then he was like, okay, now he can kind of see how easy it can happen. It's not like I'm just trying to fuck up our credit and all of this, you know? Sometimes it was just, it was overwhelming. So I said all of that to say, sometimes in your marriage, you have to know where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. I'm not bad with money. I just need to have it in order to do something. You know, I can't just make shit happen out of thin air. So, that was what my issue was. But yeah, she needed to have taken over or removed her part of what she was doing with the wife and handling her part of stuff so that it didn't reflect. Because now she's saying her credit is bad. They did get evicted, so she's like, I'm homeless now, I don't have anywhere to live. And she has a successful boutique apparently. I'm assuming it's a clothing boutique. She has a successful clothing boutique. You know, she has a successful online presence and career on there. And so she makes money, but she's like, you know, there's no reason why I should even be in the middle of this. But as mad as she is, and as much as I understood, I did still feel like she needed to take some accountability, but not, you know, the main thing is that you hooked up with this woman who is a scammer. Okay. And I don't know what happened, but something obviously has happened for everything to kind of come crashing down now, because if they've been together 6 years and things have been okay, and now all of a sudden all this is happening, you know, it's just sort of like, well, then what didn't happen on Raesondra's end? Okay, because it's like, where does all of this money that she's stole? They done stole money from churches and people and wives and brothers and all of this. We know that she got the money. What did she do with it? Okay, we don't have any proof of it. Is Raesondra on that stuff? Like, is because where's this money? Okay, how did she get so far out of control with the bills and everything for, you know? So anyway, you guys, that relationship is very embarrassing. And this is the main reason why I don't like to really share my private life, because, you know, the fact that them two had an online presence together, and then now all of a sudden them two are not together, of course people are going to be wondering what happened. So that's the reason why she now had to tell people. You know, originally she came out and just said that they were getting a divorce, but people were just like, what happened? So that's when she decided to spill all of the beans. Okay. But yeah, this is exactly why, because people want to know. Once you've let people into your life like that, then they feel like they should, And they kind of are right, you know, like, you done carried me through all of this, everything else. Why not let me see the bad as well? Okay, so that's what she's doing. But it's just like, I'm sure that she would rather not have her whole life posted all over everywhere. And for people that don't know her or the lady, nothing about it, you know, to be commenting on it. Because before yesterday, I ain't knew nothing about them girl, nothing. Okay, supposedly her wife didn't like her daughter, and I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. It was just like, girl, did you know these people? Like, when you got married to the person, you know, and then the family, apparently Rashandra's family is fucked up too. And it was just like, this is why you have to know, you know, you got to not just know the person you marry, but really you got to know the family you marry and everybody. Okay, you getting involved with everybody. So this is why you got to get to know people. Like, she didn't know the girl had been in jail, and she didn't find that out until she talked to the pastor, I think, or somebody that, you know, when she had been to jail in the past, and then that's how she found out. That it's just sort of like, why you ain't know none of this? Yeah, I think people be rushing into marriages for the wrong reason. It's just like, do you know this person, or do you just think that you love this person? And you really could just love this person, but you got to love the whole person. Like, love all of the everything, all of the bad that comes with it too. And sometimes that's family, sometimes that's baggage, you know, personalities. It'd be all kind of shit. So, I mean, this is a precautionary tale, right, for these two, you know, for people to realize that you can be with somebody for 6 years and still not know them, and they could be doing all kind of stuff. And just, yeah, so, and what was the lady's response to all this? You know, she decided to post a video. She's a pastor, apparently. So, you know, her thing was all like, you know, God will take you through trials. And, you know, she took the biblical approach, which was, you know, don't worry, God is not going to put too much on you that you can't handle and that you're going to make it through, kind of thing. But she hasn't really commented at all on the situation. And yeah, it's a mess. LaShondra's pissed. She says she wants the girl to go to jail. She says she wants her ass beat. I was like, I know you mad, I know you are, but you better be careful with these threats online, because even though you're not saying you gonna do it, but the fact that you saying she needs her ass beat, you know, and you have a large following, you know, and you might have some fanatic type fans that may be looking for her, you know, so you got to be careful when you say them kind of things. She's mad. I don't even know if she left those videos up on TikTok, but you know, the videos are definitely out there, because on TikTok everybody is talking about it. But yeah, so embarrassing, and she probably is going to regret telling all of their business like that. But you know, sometimes when you mad, it was 3:00 in the morning, you know, she had a glass of wine and her friend was there, and so she was, you know, you didn't pump yourself up and got online and said all this, and then you know, afterwards you just be like, fuck, I don't even know why I told everybody all of that, you know. So she might even regret giving all the business, but she definitely is very, very frustrated over it, getting a divorce. Her and the girl are no longer together. Whoever Rashandra's out there, whatever she doing, whoever she's seeing, you know, y'all better be a little cautious. Because, you know, Rashandra's out there, you know, not taking care of business the way that she's supposed to. So you guys will just have to let me know what you think about all of that. If you've been following the story, you know, what you think, whose side are you on? Do you kind of see both sides? I mean, obviously, we know that Rashandra was wrong and all of that. But, I mean, do you feel like Rashandra needs to take some sort of responsibility a little bit for the things that she just blindly did not see? Or are you the way of thinking that, you know, sometimes when you just really trust your partner, you know, you shouldn't feel like you have to be checking up on them or making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, because we're all adults and that's what you should be. So you guys just let me know whose side you on. If you knew anything about this story, did I miss anything? Did I have anything incorrect? Y'all put all of that below. But yeah, scandal over there on TikTok.
Say, baby, have a seat on my face every day, any day, every time, all the time, in my mind, summertime.
And then, you guys, there was a shooting at Morgan State University. Okay, so it's their homecoming week this week. And you guys know that's usually when they have a lot of different events and activities on campus, off of campus, you know, and a lot of alumni come and everything. Homecoming week is usually a fun week. It's usually the beginning of the school, you know, school year, somewhere at the beginning of the school year where it's homecoming. We're all coming home. Okay. So there was an event that the school had after everybody got out of class. You know, they were all getting together in a certain location on the campus or whatever. And when the event was coming to a close, there were two groups, they say, that were having a disagreement and they started shooting. All right. And 5 people were hit, wounded. Nobody was killed, thank God. However, they were not able to catch the suspect. And apparently whoever the intended targets were, they weren't hit. Do we ever hit the intended target? No. Okay. So you got 5 unsuspecting people that's got hit, wounded. They were all rushed to the hospital. They said one of them has been, you know, let go. They're well enough. Nobody is going to die, but you know, some of them, I guess, more serious than others. But that is the blessing in all of this. Yet and still, this is the 531st mass shooting here in the United States this year. It don't take a mathematician to realize that we only got 365 days in a year. Okay, we ain't even through this year yet. And we almost have double the amount. So by the time we get to the end of the year, it's probably going to be averaging somewhere around 2 mass shootings a day. And that is terrible. Okay. But that is our reality, you guys. Out of the 531 mass shootings that we've had, 17 of those shootings have been on college campuses or universities. And so, yeah, really bad. The school has canceled all homecoming events, either canceled or postponed them, which is a drag, which sucks because, you know, when you're a student at these schools on homecoming week, everybody looks forward to that. You know, you have entertainment, you have parties, you know, it's a fun time. And now, you can't even celebrate that fun before shit really gets serious in school, you know, because homecoming week, and then it's like, okay, let's get serious because we're gonna have to be taking midterm finals and all of that is gonna be coming soon. So that's usually the fun before you really gotta be serious and taking care of what you need to take care of. So, you know, that's too bad for the kids, but it's always somebody that fucks it up. Okay, they can't find the shooter, they have no idea where the shooter is. So they're still looking, combed through all of the buildings. You know, there's videos of them checking all the dorms and everything, all the classrooms, and, you know, just trying to see if they can root out the person. They haven't been able to find the person. So, yeah. But, so very good that even though there were 5 shot, nobody died. Nobody is expected to die. But the bad is that we still looking for the shooter. So y'all keep your eyes open out there where Morgan State University is. Be safe. Okay, and prayers up for the 5 that were wounded, the families and everybody that was affected. You know, hopefully everybody can get back to their life soon. Next story.
I'm dinner time. I just wanna see you cross the finish line. Feeling like Jimmy, I give you this Johnson. Know you like filming that content. All in your bank and I never pull out. I just like making the